Yo, what up? You watching Montreality? It's your boy Killer Mike, and I'm kicking on my homeboy Cena. We doing this shit. Yeah. I was a very, very intelligent asshole. I had dyslexia young, but at that time nobody was diagnosing dyslexia. So my grandmother was just stringent on reading, and just helping me overcome whatever little thing that she didn't know, no one knew what it was. So I really learned to read well through repetition, and I learned to like just pick up shit. And I would just randomly remember shit. So I was real intelligent, like way young. I tested like through the roof on a bunch of shit, and when I realized I was smart, I just started using it as a weapon to fuck with teachers and shit. Like the teachers would, you know, talk about the American Revolution. I'd go home, had encyclopedias, read up on it, find different viewpoints just to argue with teachers and shit. So I was a real intelligent kid, and I was an asshole. Kind of what I am now. As a teenager coming up, I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, I worked at Six Flags, I cut grass. I did anything that didn't require me to work hard, where I could work just like 4 or 5 hours a day, because really I was selling drugs and I didn't want my grandmother to find out. I took it to my grandparents so they could deposit it, because I convinced them I had quit my job and I was just going to live as a rapper, and they went crazy because they thought I was becoming a degenerate and I had a little babies. So I took them a check and let them put it up for my kids and me, and then I lived off drugs. But I was with Outkast at first, so rap checks kept coming in. I think my first big rap check might have been about $20,000, $35,000, 25, 35 grand. So, you know, my grandparents were happy about that. The key to success? Listen to yourself more than you listen to others' opinions. That doesn't mean don't listen to others. Listen to people who are qualified, who know, who've been there, who took risk, who may have failed. Talk to people who took risk and failed, and took risk and succeeded. But if you know in your heart of hearts and your gut that's what you want to do, you have to shut out the other voices, and you have to listen to you. When I wanted to be a rapper at 9 years old, like, people weren't becoming rappers. You know, everybody wanted to be a football, baseball player and shit. And I remember a teacher telling me, Michael, you're too smart to want to rap. You should be an airplane pilot. So at 15 years old, I got an opportunity to learn how to fly planes. I went and learned how to fly planes. And I went back to my old elementary school and told her, you know, Ms. Ely, I learned how to fly planes, but I don't want to be a pilot. I still want to be a rapper. When I was in the arts program, the accelerated arts program, governor's honors and shit, I was a very good artist. And the leader of the arts program was a woman named Ms. Bishop. And when I told her I want to be a rapper, she said, Michael, rappers come a dime a dozen. I thanked her in my first record, and just telling her how much I loved her, because she kept me straight and out of trouble. And when I went back to speak to her class, she cried. She said, I owe you a dozen dimes. You said you'd do it. So in my life, what's happened for me is I've had a dream, I made it a goal, and everything I did tried to point toward it. But every challenge I was given, or every statement that I couldn't, I met and I faced. So, you know, for me, it was just about, you know, if you want it, you got to be brave enough to go get it, because most people aren't. Most people are going to be satisfied getting a check and just doing what they're told. I love reading books. I love reading books, smoking weed, and going to strip clubs with my woman, and hanging with my children. Those are my favorite things. Let me tell you authors that have influenced me. James Baldwin has influenced me. Robert Beck, who wrote Pimp, has influenced me. Bell Hooks has influenced me. Who else has influenced me? I can say in a deep way. The autobiography of Dr. King and the autobiography of Malcolm X, read within a month of each other, influenced me a lot. I've read the Torah, the Bible, and the Quran, and you know, all of them have some interesting philosophies. They've influenced me. I can honestly say I've just been influenced by reading. So my thing is less about what books are influence you, because after you read so many books, you realize you're still just being told what to do. It's just a slower form of TV sometimes. The challenge is to take what you've learned from all these books and put your own thing together, you know. But I would say if you want to start reading, I would definitely say start reading Baldwin, and read something grimy like that Robert Beck wrote, like Pimp, or Mama Black Widow, or Long White Con. What would I call my book? Still a Nigger. I'm reading Dick Gregory's book, Nigger, now. I would still a nigger. Because, you know, you got black people around, N-word, N-word, N-word. Nah, you still a nigga. What was I in a previous lifetime? In a romantic way, I'd like to think I was Hannibal. But I probably was just a squid or something. You know, people know I've been talking about this project for like a year called The Elegant Elephant. and I really want to do that, and I want to do rap music too, and I want to do Pledge 4. So it's like 3 solo albums I gotta work on. I spoke to Tip yesterday. His wedding anniversary was a few days ago, so he was chilling with his wife, and I think we're gonna have lunch Sunday or Monday. You want me to tell him something? Nas is that guy. I've gotten in the lab with Ice Cube, gotten in the lab with Bun B, gotten in the lab with Jay-Z, Big Boy Dre, and my two, and I'll say, actually, let me tie that, Nas and Scarface. That's it. Like Scarface, I'm about to be in the lab with, so that's why I didn't say him. But Nas, I think it's good. I really do think it's good. I still don't think anybody's topped my album for the summer yet, but I definitely think like Life is Good is an amazing, another amazing step in the stairway that Nas, you know, walks to this God throne. You know what I mean? He is just, it amazes me that an MC that I've been listening to since I was a child, and he was just out of childhood, still puts the time and thought into caring. You know, Nas could just make commercial radio songs, and the fact that he'll make a daughter's, me having 2 daughters, is pretty important to me. So, you know, shouts out to Nasir Ben Uladar. Barbershop business is going pretty good, man. You know, we're growing. It's a lot easier than my accountant told me it was, which is why I started late, because I listened to him for too long. But it's a lot harder than I had thought it was, because you're in the business. What I've learned is less about creating a system for business and more about creating a system for people, because barbers can just be kind of flighty. They're artists. They can be just kind of crazy and flighty. So you really have to set up a structure that allows people to still be crazy and flighty, but keeps people there on time and keeps your customers happy, and keep customer service is just first. So what I've had to do is just go find some mentors that own shops and shit. So shouts out to my man with Clippers down in Tallahassee. Shouts out to my man's E in the West End and all the homies that are just giving me good advice. A couple $1,000s, a cell phone that doesn't work, a lighter, a joint. A couple $1,000s, a cell phone, and a joint. In New York, technically, I'm a drug dealer. Whatever my woman cooked me. Dying before I've properly taken care of my wife and children. That's what I talked about on Untitled. That's what that song was about. My fear of my own mortality. Batman all day. Fuck Superman and Spider-Man.
Why?
They were just good guys. It's too easy to be a good guy. You know, it's harder to fight with your own darkness. Since I was a child, I've read Batman, Uncanny X-Men, and I was Spawn after I got a little older. I was always just drawn to noble characters who fought a certain darkness. Like, I think on some level that's me. Like, you know, I like to think myself a noble person. I do what I do musically for the betterment of people, you know, and I got some dark and evil shit going on in my mind sometimes. My favorite gangster movie of all time is The Departed, because it shows you that gangsterism and politics walk hand in hand. And I thought that the analysis of the Sonny Bolger character and how he was able to infiltrate the police department and politics is something that I've seen, you know, peripherally, because I grew up in an all-black town in Atlanta. So when you're black, you know, one of your cousins might be the chief of police, the other of your cousins might sell crack, you know, and you see how those worlds intertwine. So The Departed was an absolutely amazing gangster flick for me. Another gangster flick I liked was Sugar Hill, because I've seen some dudes make it out the game, and that was inspiring. I mean, this means more than money. My woman even tells me, you love rap more than you love me and your children. I don't always know how I feel about that, but nothing means more than when someone says to me, you are the exact same person off record you are on. Like, the Michael that I hear on our album is who I met. And that's all I ever wanted to do, was just be me and entertain people. So being able, because a lot of entertainers don't get to be themselves, they become something else. And then when you meet them, you're like, look at this motherfucker. And so I'm just happy to be that.
Cool, appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Love, man.